One of the changes between the poll we did in September and October are the statements made by the RSS Sar Sangchalak on reservation. Mohan Bhagwat's view that it was time to move beyond caste-based reservations to look at economics possibly as the basis for reservation. Now, 50% as per our survey had heard of the comment. 54% of those who had heard said they support the RSS chief's view. 38% said they oppose it. 8% said they can't say. So it's not as if on the ground, Mohan Bhagwat's statement as per our survey has worked against the interests of the BJP. What is the single most important influencing factor in polls for voters? 29% said development, 20% said better employment. Add the two, it comes to almost 50. Only 16% said they vote only as caste as their main plank. Another 11% said leadership. Law and order was 9. 4% said religion. This is actually throwing everything out of the window, Ajit, because if you go by these numbers, A, it doesn't appear as if Mohan Bhagwat's statement has changed the election in any way, and B, these numbers say Dipankar is right, that development and employment and the future and aspiration, as they call it, matters far more than caste does. How do you reconcile this with the belief that there is this MY Muslim Yadav factor that is holding Nitish and Lalu together on the ground?
Rajdeep, actually, if you look at the distribution of caste that we have in this chart, right after Mohan Bhagwat's statement, if you look at last 1 month, what happened? The upper caste, Brahmins, has moved from 70 to 78% in favor of the BJP. Look at the Thakurs or the Bhumihars. They have stayed the same, but look at the other upper caste, from 52 to 58% in favor of the BJP. Now look at the other OBC, Mahadalit, other Dalits and Muslims. Again, these are moving more and more towards the JDU. That means the issue of reservation, which started in Bihar originally in 1978, if you remember. The history of Mandal actually started with the Karpuri Thakur government, played a big role when Lalu came to power in 1990, rings down to the lowest, each voter.
So you believe Bhagwat made a mistake?
I think Bhagwat made a mistake. The timing of it is the mistake.
The timing is wrong. You could have a debate, but it was the wrong time to make a mistake. On the other hand, you could have a Surjit Bhalla who could well turn around now and say, I told you so, that jobs matter more, employment matters more, young Biharis want a better future. They, in a sense, are not, at least as per our survey, they are not going against what Mohan Bhagwat is saying. 54% of those who have surveyed, who heard the statement, are saying, we don't think he said anything objectionable.
You know, actually, there's widespread support, in my view, about what Mohan Bhagwat said. This is, you know, remember, reservations came into being in 1950. Okay? Do you think India has changed or not changed? This is what I cannot understand. And I don't want to go back.
Okay, she's put her hands on her head. So let me.
She has every right to do so because we believe in equality and in freedom. But the point is, I am constantly asking, show me the evidence. You know, we keep harping. Let me finish. So the whole story of reservation has to do with jobs, has to do with growth, has to do with equality.
Okay, you made your point. So, let her respond. I think you made your point strongly. Show him the empirical evidence. When you say that caste is ultimately, or Mohan Bhagwat's statement on reservation works against the interests of the BJP, show him the evidence of that.
Look, I don't know what is the meaning of empirical evidence within curly brackets. If the evidence that I get is the bins that I talked to you about are the ones who were the front runners once upon a time of the ML movement. The ultra-left movement's back was broken by
And now what are they?
They are aware of the fact that there is a Mohan Bhagwat statement. They could have gone to the BJP. They are saying we'll go to Nitish. But with this statement...
that is anecdotal evidence.
No, just a minute. Okay, just a minute.
Anecdotal evidence versus he's saying give me empirical evidence.
Okay, let me give you... just a minute. Let me give you some empirics again. What do you say of the fact that there is a scenario whereas one particular caste is this thing and there's another caste that goes and then kills in retribution another one, and those are the memories that are being talked about. So how do you think that there is no longer the Agra Pichda happening here?
Yeah, you have two numbers.
Yeah, I've got two numbers. On this question of Mohan Bhagwat, 83% Brahmins support the statement, 9% oppose. Let's go to Yadav. 34% oppose, 34% support and 58% oppose. So
So I'm very surprised 24% are supporting, even the Yadavs are supporting.
But of course,
anti-reservation policy.
Hold on, one by one. Yes.
But how can you argue with the figures that Ajit has just pointed to? If you look at the caste breakup, after Bhagwat made that statement, almost every caste that is considered a backward or a lower caste has stopped supporting BJP, and the numbers have gone down.
So you're saying that there is enough evidence, empirical, as per the survey, to suggest that Bhagwat's statement has led to some kind of a backward-forward polarization.
Yes, there's enough psychological evidence.
Psychological evidence. Made the point of Mandal Raj too, right after Bhagwat's statement.
Okay,
Nitish Kumar also repeated Mandal Raj too, right after.
Dipankar, since you are the premier political sociologist in the country, or I keep saying that you are, and I do believe you are, do you believe that Mohan Bhagwat should not be making the statement that reservation should be on the basis of economics? Was the timing wrong,
listen,
or do you believe there should be a national debate on it?
You see, I have read what Mohan Bhagwat said on this subject, and I think what he really wanted was a re-examination of reservation. I don't think he had a clear view on anything. But the fact of the matter is that what has gone out is that Mohan Bhagwat is against reservation, and he wants economic reservations, if anything at all. However, it was very impolitic and completely wrong timing to raise the issue of reservations at this point when the Bihar elections is just around the corner. I feel that one way or the other, Bhagwat's statement will not do BJP much good. In fact, the BJP has already begun damage control soon after Bhagwat's statement, and I think that's the way it's going to be. I don't think that when people cast their votes, they'll think too much about what Bhagwat said, simply because there'll be other issues on the agenda, and as I mentioned to you earlier, and as you again confirmed, development and jobs are on top.
You know, that,
one second.
yes.
We should not underestimate what Bhagwat said in terms of the Muslim vote. Remember, what he said is very, very pro what the Muslims are demanding, that it be a factor in a socio-economic status.
Yeah, but Muslims are not voting at the moment for the BJP. My point is, has Bhagwat, our survey, since you only want to go by, our survey suggests that there is some level of a caste polarization slowly taking place on the ground. That's what the survey says.
Yeah.
I agree with you. In fact, I have been debating with Dhananjay that I have serious disagreements at some level with some of his poll findings. But at the end of the day, we've got to respect the survey.
No, absolutely.
And I too had expected something else of this survey.
Yeah, so I think there is something that has changed in the last 4 weeks. Ajit, you want to put a finger on it? What is this?
The forward-backward consolidation has become sharper in the last 1 month after Mohan Bhagwat made the statement. Absolutely. And after Lalu
Does that overcome the young-old divide? Does that overcome? I'm asking you, do the young think differently to the old?
Interestingly, if you look at the figures that we have, the young voters, the first-time voters of the BJP have started moving away from the BJP, more towards the Mahagathbandhan. So that is what is the most surprising element that we have right here.
One second. Something is wrong somewhere. A comparison between the alliances. Best suited to look after the interests of the forward upper caste, the BJP leads 41 to 38. Yeah. Best suited to look after the interests of the youth, 36 to 42 BJP leads. Best suited to look after the interests of the backward classes, 36 Mahagathbandhan, 42 BJP. Where are you reading? But unless I am reading everything upside down.
Right. Hang on, 43% of the young voters.
All of
these are questions asked to everyone.
Hold on.
Section opinion.
How do you get that Bhagwat statement has polarized? This is
can I respond to this?
Okay, let Cicero respond and I'll take a break. Cicero respond.
These questions are cross-section responses, whereas voting is a ballot which identifies the voter's ballot by the caste.
The caste is not playing out in these questions. Where are you getting the evidence?
Disappointed that the BJP should be talking.
Was welcomed by the backward.
I find myself sometimes like Sumitra Mahajan on a daily basis, and I feel sorry for the lady. So I'm requesting you to feel a little sorry for me and take a break, take a pause. There's Coke and water on your tables. Basically, Mohan Bhagwat's statement has stirred it up. Whichever way you look at it, whether it stirred it up in the studio or whether it stirred it up in Bihar. The fact is that it is something which has become a talking point in Bihar. How it actually plays out when people cast their ballots. Remember, I keep maintaining Narendra Modi has only just entered the Bihar battle. So that could be an X factor. There will be many X factors in this election before it's done and dusted. I'm going to come back to that. Remember, Mr. Modi has made several promises, and one of those questions that we posed is, how have Mr. Modi's promises been seen on the ground? When we return, we're going to look at Mr. Modi. Is he seen as Jumla Babu or is he seen as Vikas Babu? Welcome back. Let's look at one more question before we return once again to the numbers, the final big numbers of Bihar. What are people's opinions on Narendra Modi's poll promises to Bihar? Remember, he's announced a 125 crore package, 1,25 crore package, 1,25,000 crore package for Bihar. 28% say he will fulfill his promises, 29% say he will discriminate against Bihar, 33% say they can't say. Now we come to the question of the credibility of the Prime Minister here. Is this election, Ajit Jha, somewhere about the credibility of Narendra Modi? Is that the one X factor? I said it earlier, he's going to go on a blitzkrieg now. He's going to do 22 rallies over the next 3 weeks. Do you believe that that could make the difference? He's taking his personal prestige like he did to an extent in Delhi, but now on a much larger scale in Bihar.
I think it's when the elections were announced, at that time the Modi campaign clearly showed that the entire popularity was on Modi. The Gathbandhan was on the defensive. As the campaign has progressed in the last 1 month, the ground realities show that Modi, just Modi, the entire BJP is missing in Bihar, and as a result, the BJP is now on the defensive, the Gathbandhan is on the offensive. It's very important for the Prime Minister to turn that around. If he doesn't, he's going to lose out in the long run.
You get a sense, Veer, that this is about Narendra Modi now. You know, you saw what he did in Delhi. He addressed 4 large rallies. It wasn't enough. It was too late. Do you believe it's too late, or do you believe he still has the capacity to pull a rabbit out of the hat?
I think he has the capacity. I think anybody who's followed Modi's career would never make the mistake of underestimating him. It's entirely possible with the rallies, the promises. He's a very inspiring speaker. There's a lot of rhetoric. It's quite possible he will be able to turn things around. That's the good side. The bad side for Modi is the more he stakes his personal prestige in this, he is making this a presidential contest between him and Nitish Kumar. Can the Prime Minister of India really afford to lose the presidential contest to Nitish Kumar?
You know, Surjit, today in one of his speeches, very interestingly, Mr. Modi spoke about all his achievements globally. Look at how the world is looking at India. Now, he was saying this in Nevada, not Nevada. I have taken this from Manisha Priyam. Now, is that going to work? Can he become this larger than life figure, much like Indira was in the 70s? We saw it last year to some extent in Maharashtra, to some extent in Jharkhand, even in J&K, that he made the election about himself. It didn't happen in Delhi. Is he taking, as Veer seems to suggest, a huge gamble here?
He has to take a gamble, no matter how you look at it, and it's a big gamble. Let us not underestimate the importance of Bihar for BJP today, and if you will, for the next few years. This will set the tone of how well Modi does. So that's the first. It is a gamble. He has to take every risk
Rajdeep,
that he can. Let me just finish.
Yeah.
He has to take every risk that he possibly can in order to do so. Second, Modi comes with the baggage that we all know, that we have talked about, etc., about his personality, about his authoritarianism, etc., etc. So for him to appeal towards a more statesman-like image rather than a politician-type image is, I think, a part of a calculated plan, which I think will work. In other words, people want to see a softer, a more statesman.
You know, for example, today he seemed to call Lalu a shaitan. Says, you know, effectively seemed to suggest these are low-level leaders of another generation. Forget about them. Interestingly, there was very little attack on Nitish. It was mainly on Lalu. And I'm just wondering whether that's going to be the strategy from now on from a BJP perspective. Make this election about so-called the fear of Lalu's jungle Raj.
Exactly.
And on the other hand, Lalu and Nitish are going to make this the fear of upper caste rule returning, whether you like it or not. Make it Mandal 2, as Ajit calls it. And is that how this election will now be positioned?
You know, remember that BP Mandal's own grandson, Anand Mandal, is now with the BJP. In Madhepura, the BJP has a campaign that I've never seen before. These were erstwhile socialist guards. The den, the citadel is going towards the BJP. So in a sense, Mr. Modi's gamble of campaigning hard, playing it local is going to give him a win-win if he consolidates and keeps the strong BJP numbers with him.
You know, I just want to add to what you're saying, because effectively what you're saying, is what my old friend Yogendra Yadav says, that whichever way, whether, because this is a too close to call election, but the fact is BJP is emerging as the principal pole of Bihar politics.
Exactly.
I mean, that's clear now.
I just want to complete this. See, if he gets the numbers in the Bihar assembly, remember their strike rate was high. If he keeps his fortress with himself, it gives him the numbers and the entry to the Rajya Sabha with his MLAs. So Mr. Modi is going to leave no stone unturned in Bihar. Remember me for that. I can't for my life understand though that why he is not able to control the internal or somehow appeal to the internal factionalism in his party. I think his political style.
He's left that to political style. And you know, Amit Shah is supposed to manage that. Is he going to be able to do that? Remember, voting starts next week. There are still 5 phases. Much could change, and we will have a post-poll survey that will build up to that. Let me take a break. We've heard all the analysis. Now we're going to bring in the netas. The politicians will tell us, I'm sure they'll tell us our poll is horribly wrong. But always remember, Dhananjay Joshi is the person to blame if things go wrong. Not anyone in this network. Okay, we can't. He wins. Okay, so effectively we are saying at the moment too close to call. What are the big numbers? How are the politicians reacting to it? That's after a moment. You're watching. Our focus this evening is on the big Bihar poll. Who is winning the battle for Bihar? This exhaustive India Today Cicero pre-poll survey has been conducted across 81 assembly constituencies spread across Bihar. Respondents from as many as 320 polling stations have been surveyed. The total sample size of the survey, 6,306. Round 2 of the survey was conducted from 20th of September to the 3rd of October. We're going to look at all the big numbers. Who's winning the battle for Bihar? I have guests with me in the studio who are going to take us with this survey. Manisha Priyam, she is one of the leading academics in the country, someone who's been focusing on Bihar, is India lead of an exercise, a study which is looking at elections, including those in Bihar, with the London School of Economics. Also with us, Veer Sanghvi, senior journalist who's been an editor of magazines and newspapers, and someone who's joined us today on the battle for Bihar. Ajit Jha, senior journalist, is looking at his home state very closely with his baseball cap on, signaling the start of the end of the baseball season in America. Dhananjay Joshi, he is Cicero. Remember, he's the person who's put this survey together. He gets all the blame if the survey goes wrong. RPN Singh of the Congress is joining me in the studios. I'm also being joined by other politicians from the different parties in Patna and beyond, from the Janata Dal United, from the RJD, from the BJP. We'll have representatives from all these parties, Pawan Verma of the JDU, Sambit Patra of the BJP, and Manoj Jha of the RJD. So all the major formations are represented on this program. Let's then go to the big numbers. What is our Cicero India Today poll saying? Let's take a look at where the numbers stand in this battle for Bihar. This is the survey that we've conducted. Remember, it's a pre-poll opinion survey. In 2010, when elections were last held, these were the percentages. 49.3 was the Janata Dal RJD alliance, Congress alliance. But remember, the alliances have changed. That time the JDU was with the BJP. So these numbers may be slightly misrepresented. September 2010, the BJP plus is 23.2. That's BJP and Mr. Ramvilas Paswan. And 20% was what the others got. How has that changed? In September, when we did a poll, the JDU was 40 plus. Now it's come up to 41% in October. The BJP was 42 in September. It's now come down to 39. So as our poll has tracked, actually the percentage of the BJP-led alliance has come down, and that of the Janata Dal United Nitish alliance has come up. How is this translating into seats? 243-member assembly. Who is winning the battle for Bihar? This is what our survey is saying at the moment. If elections are held today, the Janata Dal United alliance, which got 141 seats, remember in a landslide last time, is now getting, we believe, 106 in September. 125 was what the BJP got in September. But in October, 1 month later, 122, the figure in red suggests that the edge has now shifted to the Nitish Lalu combined. They are getting 122 and the BJP-led alliance is getting 111. Others are getting 10. Take a look. 106 is what we said in September for the Nitish Lalu alliance. It's up by 16 to 122 and the BJP is down by 14. Has there been a mood shift in Bihar over the last month? That's what our survey seems to suggest. But these are very close numbers. This is too close to call when 122 plays 111. That's the big number though that Cicero is looking at the moment. Let me get first political reactions from all our guests. I'm going to come to you, Pawan Verma. Last time you were on this survey program of ours, you were very angry with us. Today you can smile a bit. You can smile a bit today, Pawan. Maybe things are not as bad as they were a month ago. Do you really believe that you are managing to change the mood of this election? Because I am not fully convinced. I must confess, my own feeling has been the BJP had the edge. Do you really believe that the JDU has the edge?
I believe that as you will have more surveys, you will see that this margin will increase, Rajdeep.
What has changed?
Something I believe, and naturally you will attribute it. I believe what has changed are three things. First of all, the BJP attempted to make economic development as one of its primary planks in terms of projection and promotion. On that count, Nitish Kumar's image as a pro-development person who has given concrete deliverables which have touched the common man's life, the BJP's attempt to juxtapose their economic development track record is just not matching up. Secondly, I believe there is an element which has always been part of the JDU's philosophy but has been strengthened now in the Mahagathbandhan, that economic growth must be accompanied by social justice. Thirdly, I believe that the negative campaign being carried out by the BJP, and in particular I must be constrained to say by the Prime Minister himself, by which he has said many things which have hurt the sentiments of the people of Bihar, or he has adopted a tone which is one of arrogance or condescension, has strengthened the Mahagathbandhan's appeal.
You've given your three reasons.
Lastly, the fact that the BJP has no chief ministerial face, no chief ministerial candidate. Rajdeep, will be surprised when you arrive at Patna airport and drive through the city. There are only two faces on every hoarding of the BJP, that of Amit Shah and Narendra Modi. There is no face of a Bihari leader. You know, you made your point. People.
You made your point, and you have every reason to make a point when your alliance is given a slight edge. And I want to emphasize slight edge, because 122 plays 111, 1% swing one way or the other, and it becomes too close to call an a hung assembly in Bihar. But Sambit Pata, respond to that last point first, which was made by Pawan Verma, that you have the face of Narendra Modi and Amit Shah in a Bihar election. On the other side, there is Nitish Kumar. Lalu Prasad is not on Nitish Kumar's posters. It is only Nitish Kumar. Lalu has his own posters. Have you all made some kind of a mistake in not projecting, say, a Sushil Modi? Make it Sushil Modi and Narendra Modi versus Nitish Kumar. Or could you change your strategy now, given the way the numbers are playing out?
See, Rajdeep, as far as the survey is concerned, though I would not fight with statistics, but I would say that in last 4 or 5 days, we all, including me and Pawan, the representative from RJD, we have participated in about 5 or 6 such opinion polls. And most of these opinion polls have reflected that Bharatiya Janata Party's NDA, Bharatiya Janata Party along with the NDA, is the one which is emerging ahead.
Four polls have come today. 4 polls that have come today, 3 are giving the edge at the moment to the JDU Lalu alliance. The 4 polls that have come together today, 3 are giving the edge to the JDU. So something seems to be happening on the ground. It's a slight edge, but something. I thought a month ago you were heading for a landslide. At the moment, that landslide is not looking like it, which is why you've got to bring in Mr. Narendra Modi to do 4 rallies a day. He's actually going to spend a night halt in Bihar, something he didn't even do in the general elections.
Now let me tell you the answer to the question that you asked as to why the photo of Narendra Modi and Amit Shah not having a CM candidate. This question was asked quite often to us when we were contesting Haryana, when we were contesting Maharashtra, when we were contesting Jharkhand, which is the adjoining state to Bihar as well. The important issue is, more important than survey rather, is the pulse that we are seeing in Mr. Modi's rally. Just look into the pictures of these rally and you can see the pulse, the kind of atmosphere that it has created in Bihar. And this this is what we call is Bihar's want, Bihar's need for development. And in contrary,
but Narendra Modi is not the Chief Minister of Bihar. Narendra Modi is not the Chief Minister of Bihar, surely.
People know that. People know that Mr. Narendra Modi is not the Chief Minister of Bihar, and people know that we want a vision for Bihar, and Mr. Modi is the one who is going to give us the roadmap for development of Bihar. Now, at the end, let me put up just 3 sentences. There is desperation in this election. Desperation of Bharatiya Janata Party is how to improve the situation in Bihar. Desperation of the Mahagathbandhan is how to stay in political existence. Otherwise, they would go into political oblivion.
Okay.
Now, what is important? Desperation for development or desperation for existence? And the intelligent people of Bihar understand which side they should stand for.
It's interesting you're using the word development. All political parties use development in studios. On the ground, they use issues like beef ban, use issues which have seemingly no connection immediately to development. So does the media. So does the media at one level. But RPN Singh respond, and I'll get Manoj Jha also to respond in a moment. But respond to that Narendra Modi is still the X factor here. That at the moment, this is a survey done between the 28th of September, October 3rd, when Mr. Modi was abroad. Now he's here. Bachna hai Bihariyon lo main aa gaya.
No.
Modi has decided he is going to spend the next 3 weeks in Bihar. Is he someone that you have to fear?
No.
It's Modi versus Lalu Prasad in particular is how he wants to position.
I'll come to that question. I just want to share something with you. Very interesting results that you have which reflect the ground reality. Unlike the BJP PR campaign which showed they have already swept the elections. And last time in Delhi when some channels showed that the BJP was losing, the Prime Minister called the channels Bazaru. I don't know what they're going to call them.
What's
he going to call them this time?
You're smiling, RPN, but let me tell you, the Congress is not registering in this election. It's about Lalu and Nitish. So the Congress has no reason to smile.
What I'm saying is the last time the BJP was shown as losing in Delhi, the Prime Minister called the channels Bazaru. I don't know what he's going to call them this time around. What has happened? What's the difference this time around? This is the first election after Delhi. It's been 1.5 years. The Prime Minister is giving his bombastic speeches all over Bihar, but these are the same speeches they heard 1.5 years ago when he was the Prime Minister, when he was trying to become the Prime Minister. He has become the Prime Minister. He has not addressed any of those issues which he promised the country. Be it money, the black money, 15 lakhs, be it employment or 1 crore boys a year or girls.
So you're saying that the Prime Minister is not being able to address. He is still living in 2014 and you're now at the end of 2015. I will get Sambit Patra to respond, but a first word from you, Manoj Jha, because there's a feeling from what the Prime Minister spoke today, he wants to make this election about BJP or Narendra Modi versus Lalu Prasad. He rarely mentioned Nitish Kumar, but he kept emphasizing and hitting in a way at Lalu Prasad. Is that a reflection, and I'll put those numbers up, that Nitish remains the most popular choice for CM, but Lalu and Rabri Devi don't enjoy that same personal popularity? You are the weak link of this alliance. You and the Congress are the weak link of this alliance.
Rajdeep, if politics has to be seen in the personal or the individual photo frame, we have Nitish Kumar leading this coalition. So there is no worry for us. We are very certain that we have a massive support base. Number 2, Rajdeep, I have a question, in fact something to share with you. You also put development versus caste many a time as a binary, and I have been opposing it on 4 occasions. I have done it with you. Look, Rajdeep, everybody wants development, but it cannot be a cacophony. In fact, when we talk about development, we talk about inclusive development. I would like to know why can't preferential treatment be given to the subalterns, to the lower caste, to the EBCs? Why can't reverse discrimination be broadened?
I ask a question, you go into...
Rajdeep.
No, sir, you are entitled to... We can have a thesis on caste versus development, and I will come to it. Manoj, I'm not avoiding it. It's an important issue you are raising, but I want to look at the numbers at the moment. This is a poll survey, and I'm trying to understand the numbers. Before I
have not finished. I have not finished something which was...
Yes. What do you want to say about the numbers? My point about the numbers is Nitish is pulling up the alliance. Lalu's votes are being transferred to Nitish as per our survey, yes. But it's not as if there is a possibility that Lalu could be the Achilles heel. Today, Narendra Modi said Lalu represents the shaitan in a way of the Jungle Raj of the past.
Rajdeep, there is a very nice share. Meri ana mere dushman ka taziana hai. इसी चराग से रोशन ये गरीब खाना है. Taziana is Achilles' heel, and that is what I said.
Okay.
Now, you must look at this coalition as a coalition of affinity. Compare it to coalition of contradiction. Our supporters are intact, and they expect Ranveer Sena's supporters and the victims of Ranveer Sena to vote together. That is the discourse in
That's
Bihar.
an interesting point. That's an interesting point you're making, that yours is a consolidated coalition, you believe, of the backward caste. Theirs has an upper caste, backward caste, Dalit contradiction. But Sambit Patra, before I widen this, just one word on the fact that what RP and Singh seem to suggest, that Narendra Modi's speeches do not carry the same resonance today that they carried 18 months ago. Now there is a familiarity to it. It is great performance, but it's a performance. It's not about winning votes anymore.
Rajdeep, I'll tell you, the best judge to what kind of speech Mr. Narendra Modi delivers is the audience which attends to the speech. And you have seen the vibration, the enthusiasm and the performance of the audience.
But the audience, it's a great drama. It's great political theatre. Will that translate into votes this time?
No.
You know,
let me answer.
Mr. Modi is a terrific campaigner. But can it translate? Is he in Bihar? Does he need to campaign a little differently?
You have asked me the question. Let me answer my way. Number one, yes. As far as people of Bihar going to watch a drama is concerned, they have already a candidate since number of years who they love as far as drama is concerned, and I don't have to take the name also. Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav is the one who gives them entertainment enough.
He's a drama. Well, we can say the same thing about the Prime Minister.
Secondly,
he's always in election mode.
I was
When's
not
he going to be in governance mode?
Can we have some decency? Can we have some decency? I was not interrupting anyone.
Yes.
And now Mr. RPN Singh saying that 15 lakh aaye ki nahi. Let me tell you, I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous. The ones who looted the country.
Talk about what you did, Mr. Patra, for 15 months before, during the MP election.
Sir, you are a minister,
the world to the country. Where is that governance? The Prime Minister is always on election mode.
Today,
you are upholding the law of the country. Is this the way you behave in the debates, sir? Let me complete and please reply.
30 seconds. Sambit, 30 seconds.
To say is, look at the hypocrisy of the Congress. The ones who looted the country of 15 lakh crore have the audacity of coming to the television channel night after night and shouting, where is my 15 lakh? Where is my 15 lakh? The intelligent people of Bihar understand all these gimmicks. They are not going to give any kind of ears to such kind of statements of the Congress party.
Okay.
But my last 10 seconds would be to the word cacophony of Mr. Manoj Jha, who is a very sensible spokesperson, so I should sensibly react to him. He says cacophony. Well, yes, let me tell you, development never exists with cacophony, but the cacophony would lie with the Mahagathbandhan. Once, if at all they think of coming to power, the instability factor in the Mahagathbandhan is going to create the biggest cacophony.
We keep hearing all the time. It's about time we can continue saying not to be interrupted.
They are meant to stab each other in the back. They are not built to build Bihar. They are built to stab each other. So
okay, they will stab each other. You believe Lalu and Nitish would stab each other. The fact is, it's 1 against 3. You are the Mahagathbandhan. He at the moment doesn't even have a Paswan supporter. I was hoping Chirag Paswan would join us. He may still. But I just want to get first comments from all our panelists who do not have the pressures of having to address a political constituency. Starting with you, Ajit. Do you believe that these numbers suggest a race which is too tight to call, unlike a month ago where we thought the BJP was surging ahead? Is that the one big picture that is emerging?
Overall, yes, Rajdeep. But if you look at the figures, if you look at the sort of breakup of figures, just look at the Yadav community. 27% of Yadav community was with the BJP in September. Only 15% is now with the BJP, which means the Yadav voters have become half of what it was. And interestingly, they are not moving towards the JDU. Right. They are actually moving towards the other. That means people like Pappu Yadav. So the Prime Minister attacking Lalu, not attacking Nitish, is very interesting. He realizes that the Yadav voters are the biggest chunk of voters in Bihar.
And that's consolidating at the moment.
And that's consolidating at the moment.
Your first reaction, because the general mood, at least in the national capital, was that this Mahagathbandhan is a bundle of contradictions. That Nitish and Lalu cannot work together. It's going to collapse. It hasn't collapsed as yet. Yes, there have been the odd statements that Lalu has made, which has perhaps embarrassed the Gathbandhan, but it hasn't collapsed as yet. Are you surprised?
No, not really. I think for both these people, it's a survival at stake. They had no alternative but to cling together. I never thought it would collapse. On the point RPN Singh made about how Modi has made these statements before and it's now too late. If you look at your poll, 58% of Biharis believe that Modi has actually met expectations or exceeded them. So there is no disillusionment, no sense that he came here last year and said this and it didn't happen. But equally, 56% of Biharis are also very happy with Nitish. They believe he's met expectations or exceeded them. The Modi strategy that he comes from a helicopter and he says, I will give you poor people development, works in Maharashtra where people are very unhappy with the government. Is it going to work so well in Bihar?
You know, that's an interesting point. Are we then coming back to a situation where you want Narendra Modi as your Prime Minister, but when it comes to the state election, you're seeing Nitish Kumar as your Chief Minister? There is no anti-incumbency. Our poll is not suggesting that there is anger against Nitish Kumar.
See, the ground reality that you have, there may not be anti-incumbency against Nitish Kumar, but let me sober that down by saying that almost all his ministers are in troubled waters. So he may be doing well, his report card doing well, but look at where the downslide for the BJP is coming from. If you look at don't look at caste. Urban going down between September 15, October 15, women going down, below 25 going down. So all of those that were the voters that could have been impressionable, that were outside the caste pale, going down. That's not good news. There's something that the BJP local unit is doing there which needs to be pulled up. It is definitely about the factionalism, but it has something to do with Mohan Bhagwat's statement. Need to pull it up, get it back to the Modi track. So maybe the X factor could be more of the supply of the Modi rhetoric.
You know, I'm going to come to that, and I'll bring you Dhananjay at the end to give us the overall picture. But I want to understand from you, Pawan Verma, do you all fear the Narendra Modi factor? The more he makes this election, as he gave enough indications today about BJP versus Lalu, do you still fear that that could go against you? Today he made a statement, for example, where he suggested that Lalu Prasad's remarks on the beef ban was such that that Yaduvanshis had been betrayed or Yadavs had been betrayed. Do you believe that Narendra Modi is someone whom Nitish Kumar will find that much more difficult to combat? You can take on a Sushil Modi, but you may not be able to take on Narendra Modi in a close race. He may be the swing factor.
No, Rajdeep, I'll give you a frank and candid answer as I understand it. Narendra Modi has peaked in Bihar. In the first 4 rallies, perhaps there was a little impact, and then the manner in which he announced his so-called package alienated as many people as it intrigued others. The other factor is that between 2014 and 2015, although your figures are showing, as Veer mentioned, 58% appreciation of what is done, but I will tell you that on the ground people believe that while his eloquence is very visible, it leaves a deafening vacuum afterwards in terms of deliverables. And this is actually being tangibly felt by people, that he comes, he makes promises and he doesn't deliver. And I think therefore his speeches have run out of steam. He's saying the same thing, attacking the same people, doing so in the same language, with the same theatrics, and there is a law of diminishing returns to this kind of tactic when you are lacking a concrete issue to push.
You know, you're saying that it is subject. Yeah, quick response, Sambit. I need to take a commercial break. Quick response to that. We are coming back to it. Have you put all your eggs in the Narendra Modi basket? At the end of the day, state elections are often won on the strength of your local unit. And has there somewhere been a mismatch, particularly in ticket distribution?
Not at all. Why should there be a mismatch in ticket distribution? In fact, if you say that have we put all our eggs in one basket of Narendra Modi ji, I would say it's people, not we. We though definitely as an organization move behind our leader. But look at the vibration of the people of Bihar. If people of Bihar have reposed their faith on their Prime Minister, they have done it with well reasons. They have done it with well-meaning reasons. Because they know that for the past 35 years, in fact, it has been this combination which calls itself the Mahagathbandhan, which has been ruling over Bihar. And for the most important issue of what I call in Hindi, Kamai, Padhai and Dawai, for all these 3 important issues, the intelligent people of Bihar had to go out of Bihar. And today Bihar wants development at any cost, so that for Kamai, Padhai and Dawai, the Biharis don't have to go out of Bihar. And in fact, the economic survey which came under Nitish's rule in fact shows that the day we came out of the coalition in Bihar, the figures which show development starts collapsing.
I will get into those
facts. If you tell, I will read it out.
I will come. Can I? Manoj, I will come to you. I'll come to you, RPN. I'll come to both of you in a moment.
Rajdeep, I have to leave.
Okay, then, okay, Manoj, you know, the problem with you is that you're the only English-speaking RJD spokesperson, so no one is as much in demand. After Narendra Modi, you are the most in demand in this election. So I'm going to give...
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
and I actually today when I tweeted something about Lalu, I got a response from Lalu's Twitter handle. I was amazed. But tell me, Manoj, in the next few weeks, what is your campaign going to be? Should Lalu Prasad be speaking a little less and maybe playing a more silent role and projecting Nitish Kumar? Because the more you project Lalu, the more the BJP will say Jungle Raj is back.
Rajdeep, I tell you, you are not at fault. Looking from the ivory tower of Delhi, you have a very different take on Bihar politics. I must tell you, go to the fields in Bihar.
No,
I have never seen such unprecedented mobilization of the backward caste of the Dalits and the Mahadalits since 1990s. And you know, they are redefining the contours of social justice.
So for you it's Mandal 2. For you it's Mandal 2. Let me take a break.
Yeah.
Remember when it's too close to... Okay.
It also wishes to unpack development.
Okay. When it's too close to call, what do we do in news studios? We bring X factors. We decide that we are going to hedge our bets. What are those X factors in Bihar by which Cicero's poll could go badly wrong? What are those X factors that will determine this election in the next 4 weeks? We will tell you that